were kids, we didn't know what strength looked like. Not really. We saw it in movies. We saw it in characters. Fictional men, shaped from scripts, lit by Hollywood. Rocky, Barnes, Jack on the stand yelling about truth. They weren't real, but damn, they felt real. Because when you're growing up with nothing, no structure, no guidance, no father, no direction, you start reaching for something, anything. And if that means believing in a fictional warrior, so be it. We needed someone to show us what it looked like, what being a man felt like. So we watched, and we took notes. And deep down we said, maybe I could be like that. Not all at once, not now, but maybe one day. And that hope, that little flicker of fantasy, became the spark that would burn for years. We weren't looking at movie stars. We were staring at blueprints. Blueprints of men we swore we'd become. 2. What it really looks like. But then, reality hits. Because nobody tells you what it really looks like to become that man. It's not a boxing ring with crowds cheering your name. It's not a courtroom with a righteous speech. No. It's a dungeon. It's silence. It's you. Alone. Fighting demons nobody else can see. Holding the key to the cell you locked yourself inside of. Too scared to open the door. See? Everyone talks about growth like it's this inspirational journey. But growth, real growth, starts in misery. It starts when the lights are off, when no one's watching, and the only sound is your own breath shaking in the dark. You want to become something great? You want to become the man you imagined? Then prepare to suffer. Because this path, it doesn't start with confidence. It starts with discipline. And discipline isn't pretty. Discipline is the voice that whispers keep going when your mind is screaming quit. Discipline is the routine that never bends, even when you're broken. 3rd obsession. Over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation dies with one bad night's sleep. It vanishes with the first cold wind, the first missed alarm, the first excuse. But obsession is fire. When you're obsessed, you don't need motivation. You don't need praise. You don't need someone patting you on the back saying, "Good job," because the voice inside your head is louder than the world outside. And that voice is hungry. That voice says, burn it all down until there's nothing left but what you were meant to become. Obsession will make you a stranger. Obsession will make you misunderstood. People will look at you like you're broken. Good. Let them stare. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Because while they're gossiping, you're grinding. While they're sleeping, you're building. While they're praying for results, you're becoming the result. 4. No one's coming. Nobody's coming to save you. Let that sink in. No coach, no mentor, no inspirational podcast, no weekend seminar. Nothing is coming that will replace the work you're avoiding. You already have the key. You always had it. But you don't want to use it. You want to talk about your dreams without living the nightmare it takes to earn them. You want the physique without the pain. You want the business without the blood. You want the respect without going to war with yourself first. No, you don't need a plan. You need war. You need to go to battle with your own weakness. You need to declare war on the lies you tell yourself. You need to burn down the fake version of you so the real one can rise from the ashes. V, the dungeon of discipline. This isn't a movie. There's no theme music playing while you struggle. No one's going to document this. Discipline doesn't feel heroic. It feels like a mental breakdown at 4 a.m. when the world is sleeping. It feels like running on torn knees and frozen lungs. It feels like repeating the same boring reps, same meals, same silence. For years. Nobody claps for consistency. Nobody cheers for the grind. They only clap when the results show up. But by then, you won't care anymore, because the applause will never mean as much as the war you went through to earn it. Sixth, rebuilding from nothing. I didn't just build myself. I unbuilt myself first. You can't stack bricks on a broken foundation. You can't become something real until you destroy every lie you have been living. I had to strip myself down to nothing. I had to stare in the mirror and own it. The weakness, the fear, the excuses, the fake bravado. I tore it all away until there was nothing left but the raw material. And then, I rebuilt. One workout at a time. One journal entry at a time. One day of silence. One moment of suffering. One rep. One failure. I didn't look for peace. I looked for the war, because I knew only the war could make me. The internal dialogue. People ask me, what do you say to yourself in those dark moments? Nothing. There's no motivational speech going on up there. There's just the voice that says, stay. Stay in the suck. Stay in the pain. Stay in the discomfort. Stay. Because running never made anyone stronger. It's not about being fearless. It's about facing your fear, unarmed, unprepared, and walking into it anyway. It's about choosing pain, because peace without power is worthless. The science of focus and fire. You think dopamine is some reward that comes after success? No. Dopamine is what keeps you going. It's what tells your brain, you're on the right path. Keep walking. But most people never feel it. Why? Because they never stay long enough in the fire. They never learn how to focus. The agitation, the discomfort, the stress you feel when you sit down to work, to train, to grind. That's your brain warming up. That's the entry point to flow. But people feel that pain and they quit. They assume the struggle means they're failing. No. It means you're starting. It means you're doing it right. That's what it's supposed to feel like. And when you hit a milestone, even a small one, your brain releases dopamine, pushing the fatigue back, giving you more gas in the tank. But only if you stay in it. Only if you earn it. Ninth, it's you versus you. You keep looking left and right, comparing, judging, scrolling. Stop. This isn't a race against her. This isn't a fight against him. This is you versus you. You're fighting the version of you that wants to quit. The version of you that hits snooze. The version of you that looks for comfort in excuses. Kill that version. Burn it. And let something stronger rise from the ashes. 10. The ownership mindset. Most people rent their mind. They let others occupy their thoughts. They let doubt move in. They let fear take the keys. But me, I own mine. I made the down payment with blood. I pay the mortgage with discipline. And every day I put in the work, I build equity. I don't let anyone live rent-free in my head anymore. No doubt. No insecurity. No past. I own my mind now. And no one's taking that from me. 11th, go to war. Find peace. You want peace? Then go to war. You don't get peace by hiding. You don't get peace by numbing yourself. You get peace by earning it. You get peace by dragging every piece of pain into the light and saying, I'm not scared of you anymore. That's what I did. And I'll do it again. Because I'm not afraid of the darkness. I am the darkness. 12th, final warning. So you want to be the man you imagined? Then understand this. There's no shortcut. No easy version. No hack. No handout. This is going to hurt. It's going to break you. It's going to stretch you. It's going to feel like death. But if you survive, you'll walk through fire and come out forged in iron, and you'll look in the mirror and see not a character, not a dream, not a fantasy, but the man you imagined, the man you became. Lesson 1. Burn the illusion. Core focus. Confront and destroy the false identity you've been hiding behind. Expose the mask. Crush the fantasy. Let the real you crawl out of the fire. Bloody, honest, and finally free. Introduction. Every single day, you wear a mask. Maybe you smile when you feel empty. Maybe you talk strong but you feel weak. Maybe you've built your whole personality around being the chill guy, the smart one, the funny one, or the broken one. But deep down, you know it's fake. You've stitched together a version of yourself based on what you thought people would accept. Because at some point in your life, you decided that the real you wasn't enough. So you hid. And you've been hiding ever since. That version of you that shows up at work, at parties, online, even in the mirror. That's not you. That's the illusion. It's time to burn it down. The psychological trap. Here's the trap. The longer you wear the mask, the more you believe it's your face. You become attached to your character. You identify with the story you've told so many times. I'm just lazy. I'm not a morning person. I always mess things up. That's just how I am. No, that's not how you are. That's how you've settled. That's the weak narrative you've chosen to repeat until it became a comfort blanket. But that comfort is killing you. Because while the mask may protect you from rejection, it also shields you from growth. You can't evolve while hiding behind fiction. To become the man you imagine, you first have to bury the man you pretend to be. Daily actions. Expanded. 1. Journal about your false self. Be brutal. Write down who you've been pretending to be. Write down how you talk around others, how you tone yourself down, how you inflate your ego. List the lies you repeat, the roles you play. Write what it costs you to keep this illusion alive. Ask, what am I afraid people will see if I stop pretending? Who taught me this false identity? What would happen if I dropped the act? 2. List your favorite excuses. What do you tell yourself when you fail? What do you say when you don't show up? Write them down. All of them. I'm too tired. It's not the right time. I'll start tomorrow. It's just not meant for me. Now cross them out. Burn that page if you have to. Because excuses are the bricks that built the prison you live in. 3. Write down your heroes. Who did you look up to as a kid? As a teen? Now? Were they real or fictional? Batman? Goggins? Your older brother? Some dude in a movie? Write their names. Next to each one, write the traits they had that drew you in. Was it their discipline, their power, their fearlessness, their calm in chaos? Now circle the traits you don't see in yourself yet. That gap between who you are and who you admire. That's your work. Reflection. Ask yourself the hard questions. Why have I been afraid to let the real me show up? What am I avoiding by pretending? What would I have to face if I dropped the illusion? Are you avoiding failure, rejection, criticism? Are you scared that if you really try and still fail, then maybe you're not who you hoped you were? That fear is real, but it's also the signal. Your real self isn't some perfectly sculpted version of you. He's the one you locked in the basement when life got hard. The raw, aggressive, undiluted version. He's angry. He's powerful. And he's waiting to take control. Let him out. Real world challenge. This one's going to feel like death, but it's necessary. 1. Tell one person something real. Pick one person in your life. Friend, partner, mentor, stranger. Doesn't matter. Tell them one true thing you've been hiding. A fear, a failure, a weakness. Why? Because truth is the first swing of the axe that shatters the mask. 2. Shatter the illusion in public. Do one thing publicly that goes against your persona. If you're the quiet one, speak your mind. If you're the joker, talk about your pain. If you're the broken one, show strength. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to hurt. Because pain is the doorway. Discomfort is the hammer. And truth is the match that sets your false self on fire. 3. Face the mirror. For real. Stand in front of the mirror. Look into your own eyes. And say, I've been pretending, but I'm done hiding. Mean it. Don't look away. You can lie to the world, but don't you dare lie to yourself. Not anymore. This is where it begins. You want to become the man you imagined? Then kill the character you've been acting like. Step into the fire. Let it melt away the fiction. Let it burn the comfort. Let it break you down, so you can finally rebuild. This is lesson 1. Burn the illusion. Because you can't build a kingdom if your foundation is a lie. Lesson 2. Declare war. Core focus. Set the tone. This isn't self-improvement. This is war, and your enemy is already inside the gates. It's the weak version of you. The coward, the liar, the quitter. And the only way forward is through battle. Introduction. Let's get one thing clear. You are not here to heal gently. You are not here to wait for transformation. You are not here to feel better. You're here to go to war. And not with the world. With yourself. The soft version. The fake version. The one that makes promises but never delivers. The one who says, I'll start Monday. The one who taps out when it gets hard. The one who's addicted to comfort, validation, and illusion. That version of you? He dies now. This is not a 30-day cleanse. This is not a life coach slogan. This is not a morning affirmation. This is war. And war demands a warrior. The purpose of the war. You don't go to war because you hate what's in front of you. You go to war because you refuse to bow to what's inside you. You've lived too long under the rule of the weak. You've surrendered to hesitation. You've fed the voice of doubt. You've made peace with a version of yourself that is less than you could be. No more. From this day forward, you must declare yourself enemy number 1 and go after everything inside you that holds you back with merciless intent. Because only when the weak self dies, does the strong one rise. Daily actions. 1. Write your declaration of war. Get a journal, not your notes app, a physical book. This is your battle log now. Open it and title the first page, Declaration of War. Then write the following. I declare war on the version of myself that. Finish the sentence. Be ruthless. Be specific. Declare war on laziness, on fear, on shame, on insecurity, on guilt. Declare war on the lies you've been whispering to yourself in the dark. Make it visceral. Make it real. This page becomes your first act of rebellion. 2. Design a morning routine that begins with discomfort. You want to own the day? You start by destroying the illusion that comfort is your friend. Cold showers, not optional. Early wake-ups, before the sun, no phone for the first 60 minutes. Face the silence, movement, sweat, stillness, reading, something that puts pressure on you. Make this your ritual of war. Every morning, rise like a soldier preparing for battle, not a civilian waiting for convenience. Because if the first thing you do every day is choose discomfort, you've already won a war before the rest of the world wakes up. 3. Create a non-negotiable discipline ritual. Pick something you will do every day no matter what. It doesn't have to be massive, but it must be unbreakable. 100 push-ups, 1 mile run, 20 minutes of journaling, 10 pages of a book, 10 minutes of meditation, making your bed with precision. This is your daily sacrifice to discipline. No exceptions, no justifications, no negotiation. This is how warriors are forged, not by intensity, but by consistency under fire. Reflection. Let's talk about your enemy. He's not out there. He's in here, with you, right now. What does he look like? Picture him. Your soft twin. Your shadow self. What's his posture? His tone of voice? What does he say when the alarm goes off? What does he whisper when it's time to push? It's okay to skip today. No one will know. You've earned a break. You're just tired. You've been through a lot. Maybe this isn't for you. This voice wears compassion like a mask, but make no mistake. That is the voice of sabotage. So what do you say back? You don't argue. You don't plead. You don't negotiate. You go silent and move. Because action is your new response to resistance. You don't entertain weakness. You execute discipline. So every time that voice returns, you return with action. And you remind it. You've declared war. Real-world challenge. Make it public. Post your declaration of war online. Or tell a friend. Or record it as a video and watch it back every morning. Why? Because secrecy is safety, but exposure is accountability. You need pressure to fuel this fire. Next, commit to your morning discomfort for 7 days straight. Track it. Document it. Make it visible. There are no cheat days in war. Finally, pick one enemy and break it in half. If laziness is your enemy, then move until you sweat. If fear is your enemy, then do something that terrifies you. If shame is your enemy, then speak your truth in public. Draw blood, because the only way to win this war is to fight it like your life depends on it. This is lesson 2. Declare war. If you want peace, earn it through blood. If you want clarity, find it through chaos. If you want transformation, wage war against the parts of you that wish to remain the same. You've been waiting for change to knock on your door, but change isn't coming. You are the storm. Lesson 3. Enter the dungeon. Core focus. Go where it hurts. Explore your inner dungeon, the mental and emotional tomb you locked your pain inside of. Your past failures, your trauma, your shame. Don't run from it. Walk in, torch in hand, eyes wide open. This is where the monsters live, and it's where your power has been buried alive. You've been avoiding something. You know exactly what it is. It's that moment, that memory, that version of yourself you pretend doesn't exist. You've pushed it down, ignored it, numbed it. You've wrapped it in silence and buried it under distractions. But the truth is this: what you avoid controls you. That trauma you never processed, that failure you pretend doesn't matter, that wound you laugh off, it's still inside you, rotting, and it's poisoning everything. Your relationships, your ambition, your confidence, your identity. You cannot rise above a war you haven't faced, and you cannot become powerful while parts of you remain trapped in the past. So this is where the real work begins. Not outside, inside. You are going to the place you swore you'd never go. You are entering the dungeon. The psychology of suppression. We all carry trauma, some from childhood, some from betrayal, Some from choices we made when we were too weak to fight. We build walls around it. We distract ourselves. We lie. But nothing stays buried forever. Eventually that pain leaks out. Through your anxiety, your addictions, your rage, your fear, through your self-sabotage, your isolation, your imposter syndrome. You wonder why you always quit just before it gets good? Why you can't trust people? Why you don't feel worthy? It's not random. It's your dungeon speaking, and it's time to answer. Daily actions. 1. Visit your deepest failure or trauma. Write for 20 minutes. No filters. No sugarcoating. No, I'm fine now. Just truth. Ask yourself, what moment in my life changed me in a way I never healed from? What decision still haunts me? When did I feel powerless, abandoned, shamed, destroyed? Write as if no one will ever read it. This is a confession, not a performance. Don't protect your ego. Expose it, because you can't master what you won't confront. 2. Sit in silence for 15 minutes. No music, no phone, no distractions. Just you and the voice in your head you keep trying to outrun. Watch the thoughts. Let them come. Don't suppress anything. Observe your emotions like a hunter stalking prey. At first, it will feel like chaos. Good. That's what you need. You must learn to sit in your own pain without numbing it. Only then can you understand its message. 3. Identify your self-defeating patterns. Where do you always fall short? Do you bail when things get hard? Do you push people away? Do you avoid responsibility? Do you distract yourself with entertainment, vices, fantasy? Draw a map of your self-destruction. Where it starts, how it grows, how it wins. Then ask yourself, what is this pattern protecting me from? The answer will lead you straight to your dungeon. Reflection. Ask yourself, what scars still own you? Close your eyes and think about the memory you've buried the deepest. What comes up? A name? A face? A feeling? Where do you still feel guilt? Shame? Powerlessness? What part of your story do you refuse to look at? That's your dungeon. That's your task. You don't heal by forgetting. You heal by remembering with strength. You don't escape the darkness by ignoring it. You escape it by walking through it, unafraid, unflinching, and absolutely resolved to come back with something real. Real-world challenge. Return to one place or one memory that haunts you. This might be physical. The house where it happened. The neighborhood where you grew up. The place you fell apart. Or it might be emotional. A conversation you've avoided. A person you've ghosted. A secret you've buried. Go back. Not to get stuck in the past, but to reclaim your power from it. Don't flinch. Don't hide. Don't explain. Sit in it. Stand in it. Own it. Because if you can stare your demon in the eye and not break, you just became dangerous. This is lesson 3. Enter the dungeon. This is the moment most people quit. Because this isn't sexy. This isn't Instagram worthy. This is blood work. But if you can walk into your pain voluntarily, if you can sit with it, understand it, and extract meaning from it, you will never be a victim again. The dungeon didn't destroy you. It forged you. And now, you carry the key. Lesson 4. Build the foundation. Core focus. Rebuild from nothing. This is where you stop surviving and start building. Brick by brutal brick. Not who they want you to be. Not who you used to be. But the man you were born to become. After the dungeon comes the construction site. You've burned the mask. You've declared war. You've faced the pain buried in your mental tomb. Now what? Now you rebuild. From the ground up. And this time, it's not built on emotion. Not on hype. not on comfort. It's built on discipline, structure, and rituals that don't break when life hits. You don't become a weapon by accident. You build one. Why most people collapse? Most people want transformation, but they skip this part. They want peak performance without laying a foundation. They want to fly without learning how to stand. They think motivation is enough. They think feeling inspired is a strategy. No. A king without a kingdom is just a delusional dreamer, and a warrior without discipline is just a violent mess. You've seen it in your own life. You grind for a week, then crash. You wake up motivated, then fall apart by lunch. You build momentum and let it slip through your fingers. Why? Because you never built the foundation. This is where that changes. Daily actions. 1. Define your non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are your unbreakable laws. These aren't goals. These are rules. No matter how tired you are, no matter how chaotic life gets, these don't break. Examples. Wake up by 5:30 a.m. 45 minutes of exercise. No phone until after your ritual. 20 minutes of reading daily. Cold shower every morning. No sugar, no excuses. 10 minutes of silence. Choose 3 to 5. Start small, but they must be consistent. They must be uncomfortable. They must be non-negotiable. This is how you anchor identity. This is how you turn values into action. Because without rules, your life will fall apart every time the wind blows. 2. Create a simple, brutal weekly routine. Your life doesn't need more variety. It needs more order. Structure that carves character into your bones. Design a weekly routine that includes set wake-up and sleep times, even weekends. Scheduled workouts. Designated reading/study hours. Block time for silence and reflection. Digital blackout zones. Pre-scheduled cheat windows, if any. Put it on your wall, on your fridge, on your mirror. Make your week predictable so you can become unstoppable, and make it brutal. Comfort doesn't build foundation. Pressure does. 3. Design a morning ritual that grounds you in discipline. Your first hour of the day is the launch pad for everything. What does it look like now? Hit snooze, check your phone, stumble through caffeine. That ends here. Your morning ritual is not for the world. It's for you. It's where you remind yourself of your mission before the world distracts you. Example ritual. Wake without snooze. Cold shower. 10 minutes silence. Journal 1 page of focus and gratitude. 30 to 60 minutes of movement or reading. No phone. Your ritual must be sacred. It is the temple of your new identity. Because if you can dominate your mornings, you'll start to dominate your life. Reflection. Ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. What does the man you want to become actually do? Not what he says, not what he dreams about, not what he wants to do, but what does he actually do every day? What time does he wake up? How does he treat his body? What does he read? How does he talk to others? How does he talk to himself? What does he do when no one is watching? Now look at your life and see where you fall short. That gap between your actions and your vision, that's the distance between who you are and who you're becoming. And now, you have to close it. Brick by brick. Real-world challenge. Stick to your new routine for 7 days. No excuses. No resets. No negotiations. Track it. Hold yourself accountable. And here's the rule. Break equals restart. If you miss a day, you start the 7-day cycle again. Because this isn't about perfection. This is about proving to yourself that you can build something real, something consistent, something difficult, something solid. This is your new foundation, and when you build it right, it can hold up anything. This is lesson 4. Build the foundation. This is the turning point where the dream becomes structure, where identity becomes action, where chaos bows to discipline. You're not just fixing your life anymore. You're constructing the man who will own it. No more scattered days. No more drifting. No more waiting for permission. You're the architect now. Pick up your hammer. Lay the bricks. Make it strong. Because everything that's coming next will be built on this. Lesson 5. Obsession over motivation. Core focus. Kill the craving for motivation. It's a drug, a sugar high, a spark that dies with the wind. You don't need another hit of hype. You need an obsession. A goal that isn't just something you want. It's something you serve. You want greatness? Then make your goal a religion. Here's the truth. Motivation is for tourists. It's for people who dabble, who flirt with greatness but never commit, who get inspired, take one step, then disappear the second life punches back. Motivation feels good. It's addictive, but it's also fragile. It dies when you're tired. It quits when you're scared. It hides when no one's watching. But obsession doesn't ask how you feel. Obsession doesn't care what time it is. Obsession is hunger without end. Obsession is when your goal becomes the lens you see the world through. Every action, every choice, every breath is a sacrifice to the fire. This isn't just about reaching a dream. This is about becoming possessed by it. Why obsession is misunderstood. They told you obsession is unhealthy, that you need balance, that you need rest. But here's what they won't tell you. Nobody great was ever balanced. The greatest athletes, artists, inventors, warriors, kings, they were all obsessed. They were called crazy, extreme, unstable. They were misunderstood until they weren't. You don't need balance right now. You need domination. You need to bend your reality around your purpose until you no longer fit inside a normal life. The world doesn't need another well-adjusted, lukewarm, kind of interested man. It needs someone so on fire that even in the dark, he glows. Daily action. 1. Create a vision wall. You need a visual battlefield. Something you see every single day that reminds you what the war is for. Use images of what you are building. Body, business, life. Quotes that slap you in the mouth. Names of people you want to prove wrong or right. Symbols that make you feel dangerous again. Put it where you can't avoid it. Bathroom mirror, bedroom wall, home gym, office. This is your temple of obsession. Every time your mind drifts, this wall pulls it back. 2. Schedule a daily 1-hour obsession hour. 1 hour, every day. No phone, no noise, no comfort, no distractions. This hour is not optional. It's sacred. You use it to build your goal. Train, write, building, learn, plan, execute. Even if you don't feel like it. Especially if you don't feel like it. If you can't give 1 hour a day to the life you claim to want, then you don't want it. You're just curious. And curiosity won't save you when the storm hits. 3. Practice mental repetition. Sit for 10 to 15 minutes a day and visualize the man you're becoming. See him walk. See how he talks. See what he wears. Watch him execute with precision. Watch him dominate situations. Watch how the world reacts to him and how he doesn't flinch. Burn that image into your nervous system. So when the time comes to show up, you already are him. This isn't daydreaming. This is mental blueprinting. because the body will follow where the mind already lives. Reflection. Ask yourself the real question. Are you truly obsessed or just curious? Do you schedule your dream like a meeting? Or do you chase it like a hunt? Do you dabble when it's convenient? Or do you sacrifice when it's painful? Do you get inspired when things are going well? Or do you show up when you're bleeding? You say you want it, but does your life prove it? Are you prepared to sacrifice comfort, popularity, and normalcy for this mission? Are you ready to be misunderstood, labeled, feared, or left behind to become someone no one saw coming? That's obsession, and it's the price of greatness. Real-world challenge. Cancel one comfort activity and replace it with fire. Pick one thing you waste time on. Netflix, social media, video games, junk food, alcohol, pointless scrolling, gossip, endless YouTube loops. Kill it. Not forever, but for now. Sacrifice it on the altar of obsession. Replace it with 1 hour of training, 1 hour of focused, deep work, 1 hour of strategy, 1 hour of building your future. You don't find time, you make it. And your obsessions are revealed by what you make time for. Don't say it's important to you. Prove it. This is lesson 5. Obsession over motivation. This is where your mission becomes your identity, where the fire becomes permanent, where you stop wanting it and start living it. You're not looking for sparks anymore. You're becoming the furnace. From this point forward, your life is no longer random. It is deliberate, directed, and dangerous. You are no longer hoping for success. You're hunting it with everything you've got, because you didn't come this far to dip your toe in the fire. Lesson 6. Own the pain. Core focus. Rewire your relationship with pain. Not avoid it. Not numb it. Own it. Because until you own pain, pain owns you. Use it. Feed on it. Become something more than human in its presence. Because most people run, and you won't. You've been lied to. You were told pain is a problem, a warning sign, a malfunction, a reason to stop. You were taught to escape it, to fear it, to medicate it. But here's the reality. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your coach. It is the drill sergeant of transformation. It is the compass of the warrior. You cannot evolve without it. You cannot build a new version of yourself without burning the old one. And fire hurts. But the man you want to become, he's waiting on the other side of pain, and you'll never reach him if you keep turning back. Why pain is the doorway. Every great change in your life came through pain. The breakup, the failure, the betrayal, the loss, the humiliation. In that moment, it felt like destruction. But now, looking back, it was instruction. It woke you up. It stripped away your illusions. It made you focus. It made you move. You didn't grow when things were easy. You grew because something hurt enough to make you change. So why keep waiting for pain to find you? Why not go find it? Make pain your classroom. Make discomfort your daily curriculum. Study the parts of yourself that cry when it gets hard. That's where the gold is buried. Daily actions, expanded. 1. Track moments of discomfort and how you respond. Start a pain response log. Every time you feel yourself get uncomfortable, mentally, physically, emotionally, stop and write it down. What triggered it? What did your mind say? What was your automatic reaction? Did you push forward or escape? What story did you tell yourself to justify it? Awareness is the first form of ownership. Most people don't even realize how fast they run from pain. But when you track it, study it, dissect it, you take its power away. 2. Do one difficult thing daily. Every day, do something that sucks. Run in the cold. Take a cold shower. Lift heavy. Skip a meal. Say no to a craving. Face a fear. Confront someone respectfully. Do the boring task you've been avoiding. Meditate when your brain screams for stimulation. Make pain a practice, not an accident. You're not being punished. You're training. You're building calluses on your soul. 3. Begin a live autopsy journal. This is not a diary. This is a dissection. A daily live autopsy means you document your pain in real time. Not just what hurt, but what it taught you. Ask, what was exposed today? What weakness did the pain reveal? What lie about myself got crushed today? How did I respond? And what did I learn from that? This is your lab, your war journal, your dark gospel. And over time, you'll stop writing like a victim and start writing like a surgeon. Reflection. Expanded. Where do you back off? Where in your life do you pull away the second it gets hard? When your legs burn? When your ego gets bruised? When someone calls you out? When you're asked to sit in silence and face your truth? Track it. Own it. Challenge it. Now ask, what has pain taught you that comfort never could? Think of the most painful experiences in your life. Now finish these sentences. That pain taught me to oriduri. That pain showed me I was capable of oriduri. That pain killed the version of me that pain forced me to start over. That pain reminded me I needed to. These are your pain profits. Most people get pain and leave with nothing. But you're going to get pain and leave with power. Real world challenge. Push your limits in a controlled way. Pick one area of your life, mental or physical, and test the boundary. If you run 3 miles, run 4. If you fast for 12 hours, go 16. If you train for 30 minutes, do 45. If you're afraid of confrontation, have the conversation. If you're scared to speak your truth, say it out loud. This isn't recklessness. This is intentional suffering. It's how you redefine your limits. Because here's the truth. Your body gives up long after your mind does. Your potential doesn't die from exhaustion. It dies from hesitation. Your future isn't killed by pain. It's killed by fear of pain. So start proving to yourself that pain is not the end. It's the gateway. Lesson 7. Eliminate the noise. Core focus. Cut the distractions. Reclaim your mind. Silence the world. If you want to hear your inner voice, you need to shut the rest of them up. The world is screaming, louder than ever, and it's time to pull the plug. The battlefield isn't just in the gym, or your job, or your past. It's right here, in your mind. And the enemy? It's noise, distractions, notifications, comparison, chaos, dopamine hits disguised as information, voices in your head that were never yours, echoes of people who don't live your life, trying to control it anyway. You can't focus because you're too busy reacting. You can't think because your thoughts aren't even your own anymore. You want peace? You want power? Then it's time to go dark and take your mind back. Why silence is a weapon? You've been trained to believe that silence is weakness. That stillness means you're lazy. That rest means you're falling behind. No. Silence is clarity. Stillness is strength. Focus is a weapon. The world doesn't want you thinking clearly. Because when you think clearly, you start asking questions. You stop obeying. You start choosing. And the system falls apart when men start choosing. So what do? They flood you with noise. Scroll this. Watch that. Click here. Argue with them. Compare yourself to him. Be like her. Stay plugged in. Every beep, every post, Every headline, stealing a fraction of your mind, until there's nothing left but fragments, and no room for you. That ends now. Daily actions. 1. Limit phone and social media to 30 minutes per day. Track it. Log it. Be militant. You're not just limiting screen time. You're training your brain to stop chasing instant hits of useless stimulation. No mindless scrolling. No rabbit holes. No comparing. No clickbait. No content unless it feeds your mission. This is mental fasting. The withdrawal symptoms are real because you've been drugged by digital comfort. But like any addiction, it fades with starvation. Starve the noise. Feed the mission. Second practice. 1 hour of deep work. 1 hour. Every day. No phone, no music, no background podcasts, no ambient noise. Just you and the work. Reading, writing, creating, building, solving problems, strategizing. Whatever brings you closer to mastery. Make that hour sacred. This is where the real edge is found. In total focus. In silence. In sovereignty. 3. Cut one toxic voice from your life. Permanently. You already know who it is. The friend. The influencer. The coworker. The parent. The podcast. The feed. The one who makes you doubt yourself. The one who drains your energy. The one who confuses your purpose. The one who lives rent-free in your head. Cut them out. No half measures. No silent toleration. No mental squatters. You are the landlord of your mind. And if they don't pay rent in truth, clarity, or value, they're evicted. Reflection. Who owns your headspace? Really? Is it your phone? Is it your past? Is it someone who doubted you? Is it a person you're trying to impress? Or a ghost you're trying to escape? What price have you paid for letting them in? Lost time? Lost ambition? Lost self-trust? Now ask yourself this. What could you build if your mind was finally yours again? No noise. No doubt. No distraction. Just a man. In control. Unbothered. Unshakable. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when the static dies. And you rise. Real-world challenge. Take a 24-hour digital detox. No phone. No computer. No screens. No TV. No input. Just you and your thoughts. Go for a walk. Write. Train. Read a physical book. Sit in silence. Think. Listen to your breathing. Face the boredom. And observe what rises. The fear. The need to escape. The chaos in your own head. Don't flinch. This is you. Face to face with yourself. Do it once. And you'll realize how loud the world is. And how much power you reclaim when you silence it. Lesson 8. Forge the identity. Core focus. You're not just improving. You're not just getting better, stronger, faster. You're becoming. This is identity alchemy. The fire, the pain, the grind. It's not just shaping your habits. It's reprogramming your soul. The goal now is not to act like the man you want to be. It's to become him. In thought. In action. In presence. This is the forge. And you're not walking out the same. Self-help ends here. This isn't about reading another book. It's not about stacking more habits. It's not about trying harder. You've burned the illusion, declared war, faced your demons, built your foundation, rewired your mind, tamed the noise, and owned the pain. Now it's time to stop building and start embodying. Because the final stage of transformation isn't about doing more. It's about becoming someone else entirely. You've been forged. Now it's time to wear the armor. Why identity is the final lock and the master key. Every action you take is a vote for the man you believe yourself to be. And every time you act out of alignment with that man, you fracture the mirror. You say, I want to be disciplined. but you snooze the alarm. I want to be powerful, but you stay silent. I want to be focused, but you scroll. No, that ends here. Because your actions are not just tasks. They are declarations. They are contracts. You don't become a wolf by barking. You become a wolf by biting, bleeding, hunting, and howling in the silence until it becomes your nature. This is the lesson where words die and identity lives. Daily actions. 1. Write your new identity in the present tense. This is your war creed. This is who you are, not who you're trying to be. Examples. I am relentless. I am a man of brutal discipline. I am forged by fire, focused by silence, and fueled by purpose. I don't need comfort. I thrive in adversity. I am no longer who I was. That man is dead. Write your creed every morning. Whisper it before battle. Read it before sleep. Make it a part of your nervous system. This is the spell you cast to summon your future self into the now. 2. Review your past week and rate yourself 1 to 10. No lies. Sit down. Look at your actions. No emotion. No sugarcoating. No, I tried. Ask, did I live like the man I say I am? Did I keep my non-negotiables? Did I push through pain? Or did I flinch? Did I lead? Build? Speak truth? Rate yourself honestly, 1 to 10. If you scored a 6, then own the 6. And fix the gap. The forge does not lie. And the man you're becoming doesn't make excuses. 3. Share your mission publicly. Not to get applause, to seal your fate. Make a post. Tell a friend. Launch the thing. Say the words. Make the vow. When you speak your identity into the world, it becomes real. And you can't hide behind silence anymore. This is identity warfare. And silence is no longer your ally. Only truth is. Reflection. Do your actions reflect the man you say you are becoming? Be honest. What do you tell the world you are? And what do your habits say you are? Are you still performing? Or have you actually transformed? This is where the mask either shatters or hardens into truth. The world doesn't care what you say. It only respects what you prove. So ask yourself, what version of you shows up when no one's watching? That's the real you. That's the version the forge is trying to kill or resurrect. Only you get to decide. Real world challenge. Do something publicly that proves who you've become. This is it. Enter the fight. Launch the business. Post the truth. Burn the backup plan. End the relationship that keeps you small. Sign up for the event that scares you. Speak up in the room where you've been silent. Burn the bridge to your old life. If you don't do something public, visible, and real, you'll slide back into performance, into pretending, into procrastinating your future behind private progress. Private identity will never survive a public storm. You want to know who you are? Step into the light and see who shows up. This is Lesson 8. Forge the identity. The final chapter. Not of the journey, but of who you used to be. You've learned the path. You've bled. You've burned. You've rebuilt. And now, you become. No more planning. No more prepping. No more rehearsing. This is the curtain rise. This is the rebirth. This is the man you built with your own suffering. Stepping forward. Forge the identity. Live the creed. Wear the scars as proof. And let the world meet the version of you that cannot be shaken. You didn't just survive the fire. You became it. To the returning warriors, you already know what this is. You've been through the fire. You've bled. You've broken. But you kept showing up. You've burned the lies. You've built the discipline. You've stared into the darkness and walked through it. You are GrimFace. Not because life made you hard, but because you chose to become harder than life. Welcome back. And to those of you just arriving, this isn't motivation. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't for the faint of heart. This is a movement for those who are ready to go to war with themselves, to shatter illusions, eliminate weakness, and rise from the ashes with fire in their eyes. So if you're tired of comfort, if you're sick of soft talk and sugar-coated lies, if you're ready to suffer, to evolve, to dominate, then it's time to join the GrimFace movement. Subscribe, lock in, and never look back. Because here, we don't smile for the world. We build the face it fears. GrimFace. Become the fire.